I have been winning in Street Fighter 6 pretty consistently, with the exception of like the grapplers, because we all know when you play them in lag, it's extremely difficult to know if they're going for a grab setup or, you know, just striking. You know, that's one thing I would change in Street Fighter. Grapplers have to combo their grabs. In fact, I would change every special move motion to, like, let's say if players prefer to do like back forward or down up motions, I'm okay with the motion being down up, because down up means that you still lose your defense. Like when you're holding down or up, you can't play defense in Street Fighter at all by holding down or up, but you can by holding down back, and that's what a lot of Guile players do, and a lot of, even the character I'm using right now, Alex, in this game, he also can play defense while he's counter charging. I love the changes they made to Alex's character in Street Fighter V with the EX, how he has way better invincibility on it in Street Fighter Third Strike. He didn't really have invincibility on it, and especially projectile invincibility, which is ridiculous. If I were to redo Third Strike, I would add projectile invincibility to Alex's shoulder tackle, back forward charge with 2 kick, for sure, at least on the regular tackle. Another thing I would do, universal overhead has to be brought back into the game. I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible. Universal overhead, if you don't know, looks a lot like jumping light kick, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, or jumping light punch. If I'm not mistaken, it looks just like jumping light punch. Am I right about that? Is it not the same animation? Kind of? I don't know. If not, that's an easy way to get the jumping, the universal overhead. If you don't know, in Third Strike, Street Fighter Third Strike, universal overhead was done by pressing medium punch and medium kick together. It was different in the original Street Fighter 3. I don't know exactly what it was, because I didn't really get into Street Fighter 3 until Third Strike, to be honest. I've played it, and I did like it at the time, but not as much as I fell in love with Third Strike. I really fell in love with Third Strike. Third Strike, I always loved Super Turbo. I always loved Hyper Fighting. I always loved the original Street Fighter 2, World Warriors and all that. But let me tell you, son, universal overhead has to be in Third Strike. The problem is, this character right here, look at the range he has. That's not enough. It has to be like the range from like over here. He has to be able to get you from like that crouching medium kick range or universal overhead. So like you have to worry about, damn, he could catch me with the crouching medium kick here. He could catch me with like, it just has to be there. Universal overhead has to be in it. Universal overhead, when it lands, whether it's a crouching opponent or a standing opponent, has to put them in crush counter. Crush counter was what happened in Street Fighter V when you caught your opponent with a counter attack that was either a hard punch or a hard kick. In fact, that's been happening in Street Fighter ever since Street Fighter Alpha. These new players, they probably don't know about that, obviously. But I've noticed the difference when you counter hit your opponent with a hard punch or something like that in Street Fighter Alpha, that you had a little bit more time than normal. So, you know what I'm saying? Even though I honestly thought Street Fighter Alpha was the worst Street Fighter of all time because of air blocking, but you know what I'm saying? And that's the main reason I think Zangief is the best character in that game, because he's the only character that can beat air block with his level 3 air grab. What was I going to say? Universal overhead. Each character's unique overhead has to do crush counter. That way you get additional time to combo afterwards, like a standing hard punch after it. You know what I'm saying? I really love what they were doing in Street Fighter V with the crush counter system. I just think unique overheads to that character, like for example, Alex's forward medium punch and standing hard punch. This is the reason why a lot of people say that this character is very underrated in Street Fighter Third Strike, is because I think it should still have more range. I think he should be able to hit you with that overhead from like right over here, like that crouching medium kick range. I think they should extend the lunge that he could do with the standing hard punch overhead. That standing medium punch overhead is pretty good, I think. It could be maybe a little bit more. But you have to be able to do combo possibilities after it, like a combo into super. If it lands, you should be able to get that super easy. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. In fact, I think every jumping attack, except for cross-up, should do crush counter. You know what I'm saying? Or at least do more hit stun. That way you could land. I feel like that's still an issue in Street Fighter for whatever reason. It's been getting better, honestly, in my opinion. I love the combo, how they've adjusted the combos, even though at first it felt very weird coming from Third Strike. I felt that, you know, the light kick combos and stuff from in Street Fighter 6 are way better. So I really do think that they've been adjusting some things in the right direction, and that is one of them for sure. Drive Impact really ruined Street Fighter altogether. I'm surprised the developers have not realized how many people have been complaining about that online. Almost every single person that I've seen playing the game says that the game sucks and that they hate it, and they don't really understand what the hell the Drive Impact is for. I've personally been trying to use it for just projectiles. I seem to be losing to every other player anytime I throw a normal attack out there, because for whatever reason my Drive Impact just does not come out afterwards, or my counter just does not come out. I don't really like this system in Street Fighter 6, the whole wave drive cancel, drive rush. Don't like it at all. I prefer Street Fighter 4's combo system. It took way more talent, it took way more skill, it looked way better. It made characters combo potential so much better. I think they could reuse a lot of those ultras from Street Fighter 4. I thought they were so amazing that, you know, players should, you know, I think they should have the option like they did in Third Strike, where two Ryu players, although they're both players are picking Ryu, one could pick Shinku Hadouken, and another player could use Shin Shoryuken, and they're essentially played completely different. Like, Shin Shoryuken Ryu has to be up close and personal, whereas, you know, Shinku Hadouken Ryu, you know, basically can counter you full screen if he properly counters you, you know what I mean? Unique overheads like that have to do crush counter. Universal overhead should be brought back, should do crush counter on hit. No doubt about it. There should be a there should be a freeze in the game when I land that. Like, let's say I do back forward kick with Alex, right? Back forward kick. As if the attack hits, it freezes the attack. Like it does, like similar to Mortal Kombat 11 did on Crushing Blow. It doesn't necessarily have to do a freeze frame, but it could just zoom in on the elbow hitting the opponent's face. You know? And the reason I say that is because a big problem with a lot of the special moves and supers in Street Fighter is that there's not enough time to counter when your opponent makes a mistake, especially online. And that's a big problem, and that's why a lot of people do not like this game. I've been playing it for so long that I'm used to, I've already grown accustomed to having to capitalize off of a crouching light kick or a crouching jab ever since hyper fighting. That was almost always the only potential to counter. If it wasn't a grab, it was a jab. Unfortunately, that was just due to, you know, the game design back then, the limited knowledge. I guess I don't know what it really was. You know, it's not to say it was a bad game. That's just how they designed it. I love how they designed a lot of the special move motions because it makes a lot of sense. It forces you to commit to either going for offense or getting countered entirely. If you really pay attention to how they design the special moves, E Honda, for example, you know, one thing I would change is like special moves with charge characters. If you really pay attention, E Honda can hold down back, and he has access to up down up special move, which is the weird booty drop, and then he has the back forward headbutt special move, charge back forward punch, and then he has the charge down up kick, right? The problem that I have with that is that this is the reason why I think charge characters should be redesigned a little bit. Is that they should have to commit their special moves to being like forward forward or down down. Or like down forward. Anything that's not defensive at the same time. That way a charge character player cannot play defense and be prepared to do a counter special move or EX special move. You get what I'm saying? Like, what happens a lot of the time is, especially with like E Honda in Street Fighter 6, is that he can play perfect defense by holding down back or back if you're trying to go for overhead. And the minute that you throw out an attack that just takes a little bit longer, even a jab, even if it's a jab, he could throw an EX headbutt and completely swallow your move entirely on reaction and just completely beat it. And, you know, I do like what they were kind of going for in Street Fighter V by adding V reversal. I understand why the developers actually added that. It makes a lot of sense. As a Laura player, I was like, damn, why the hell did they add V reversal on her elbow when they could have done it with her kick buttons, right? But if you really pay attention to the reason they did that, is so that if you do it at an inappropriate time, you're going to get V reversal instead. Which means, let's say your opponent does a jab, you try to counter, like, let's say he does a medium punch or a jab or something like that, V reversal comes out, and guess what? Now you're open to a counter. Why is that? Because you should not be trying to go for an EX elbow in a jab situation. You get what I'm saying? You can counter the second one. You can even counter the first one if you're good enough, you know what I'm saying? Especially offline. That's a common thing at the highest level in Street Fighter. For sure. Yeah. Let's see. I do love what they were doing with that. At first, I really didn't understand why they did it, but in a way, I kind of understand. I felt like some V reversals were a little bit unfair and should be changed. They should all be attacks. Like Vega, for example, in Street Fighter V, his V reversal was completely unnecessary to be so. And Fang, F-A-N-G, the weird purple guy, there's no need to ever bring him back. He's a duplicate character. That's another thing that Street Fighter really has to condense, like, their character roster. There's a lot of duplicate characters. I hope they don't consider Sean a duplicate character, because he's possibly my favorite character of all time. I was the #1 Sean, period. Worldwide, there was not a Sean player better, not even in Japan, in Third Strike, no doubt about it. I'm talking about Third Strike. I'm not talking about Second Impact Sean and you know, the original Third Strike. I'm talking about Third Strike. I'm talking about not Second Impact. I'm talking about Third Strike. I'm talking about I'm the best Sean in Third Strike, period. If you see any Sean player out there that you see it and you're going, wow, this guy's good, he got it from me. If you see any Elena player out there that you think, wow, damn, this dude is good, he got it from me. I was the only player at one point using those characters and winning at the highest level. And not just winning, I was beating some of the best Akuma players, best Ken players with Elena and Sean. You know what I'm saying? And Urian, which is very difficult to do with Sean, by the way. That's one thing. Like, for example, like, I was gonna say, if I was Ryu, for example, and I go crouching medium kick, let's say I go crouching. See, that doesn't even combo. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous that he can't even. In Street Fighter V, they did change that. He can't do crouching jab into quarter circle forward punch, which is ridiculous to me. I'm glad they changed that in Street Fighter V. Very necessary for him to win at the highest level. In fact, I was the only good Alex player, period, in Street Fighter V, no doubt about it. You could even tell Snake, as I said, that the reason he started using the character in the first place was because I started, you know, doing so good with the character altogether. And I love Snake Eyes, by the way. He is a dope Zangief player, but at first he wasn't, so. Okay, so let me just finish the video real quick. Grapplers, I would not allow them to play the game the way they're currently playing. There's way too many players winning that don't deserve to win. Using Zangief and what's that new bitch in Street Fighter V? Manat. I think that's her name. So, for example, a thing I would change, another thing that I don't like is that, and to this very day, projectiles are way too fast in Street Fighter. They should be primarily used to combo, not zone, combo. I kind of like crouching medium punch into fireball, crouching medium kick into fireball with Ken should be Ken's EX fireball in Street Fighter 6 needs to be faster. He should be able to counter his opponent that throws like a regular projectile or anything less than what he throws full screen if he does it properly. And I feel like to this very day, against Guile and against DJ, it just does not get there in time, and against Ryu as well. I think every character in the game's EX special move should be like 5 or 6 that go lightning fast if you're gonna do it that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind there being I prefer the game, like I'm saying, it should always be combo based. That's the only way fighting games ever make sense. Mortal Kombat 11 is a prime example of that. Almost the entire game was combo based if you really pay attention to it, and that's why it was such a masterpiece. In fact, I still think it's the best 2D fighter to this very day, and I probably would give second place to Third Strike. When before it was Third Strike for me, but after playing Mortal Kombat 11, I gotta say Mortal Kombat 11 is easily the best 2D fighter of all time. If anyone argues with me about that, they're just idiots and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. When I go, let's say for example, if I'm playing Ryu now, I do crouching medium kick into fireball, right? I do crouching medium kick fireball. The problem with that is it's too difficult to counter. This is a big problem with the game. You guys have to change it. Crouching medium kick into fireball should do the freeze frame. The same thing I'm saying that should happen when you hit that right there. The moment that it hits, the game should pause, and I don't know if they want to zoom in, but at least pause. An easy way for the developers to make it happen is just pause that very moment that there's hits done because of the special move and leave the opponent there. On hit, it just does that drastic, oh my god, he just got hit. Ooh, you know what I mean? And it just freezes the opponent there. That way, when they block you, there's a big opportunity to counter with a hard punch uppercut, which is the way the game should be designed. Now he could go hard punch, fireball, combo. You know, if it was Street Fighter 4, you know, there could be an exaggerated combo that happens that's easy for everyone to understand, easy for everyone to do. Like, the same thing would happen if it was an EX special move. The only difference is, after an EX special move, now you have additional combo possibilities. That's the only changes I would make to the game. You know what I'm saying? I try my best. I really am a Street Fighter fanatic. In fact, at one point, it was really the only fighting game I was playing until I started playing, like, other games that you know, I was always a fan of, but I just stopped playing after a while. You know, but now I'm becoming more a fan of Mortal Kombat, to be honest. And Tekken. I have not been playing Tekken enough. I apologize for that. You know, I am a Tekken fanatic as well. And Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. But Street Fighter has really disappointed me. The developers, I don't know who they have currently, but they're going to have to bring like Seth Killian back and guys that really care about the fighting game community, that really understand what Street Fighter and fighting games are supposed to be. And stop being so cheap and pay the guy. And I'm not saying this because I actually know the guy, but I'm just saying it because I've actually looked up videos of him playing in tournaments, and he actually wanted to win as a player in Street Fighter, in high-level tournament Street Fighter play. So that shows me a lot about, like, he knows what is cheap and what should not be in the game. Another thing, characters like, for example, this character right here does not have a good cross-up. But I do like the charge move that he has, that he can kind of cross. They took it away in Street Fighter 5, unfortunately, but he could cross up either on the same side. He could land on the same side, or he could cross up to the other side. Obviously, because of parry, it's very easy to just guess parry, guess block. So what I mean by that is, like, if you just guess block, what means is you could basically press any direction and you'll be right. That's the unfortunate reality of this move. Is that no matter what direction you press on wake up, you're going to be right. Because if you press right and you're wrong, you're parry. And if you guess left and you're wrong, you're right, you'll block. You know what I mean. High level players know what I mean. Because if he lands on the left side and you're waking up and you're still on the right side, if you press right, you're either going to get parry or block if you do it correctly. Which is like bizarre to me. It should not be like that. They should take the parry away. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I forgot to mention. Parry should not be in Street Fighter altogether because there's just not enough options in Street Fighter already. So adding parry to a game that already has a limited amount of options in comparison, the only games that have less than them is like Samurai Showdown and like King of Fighters fighting games. And let's be honest here, they're just kind of bootlegs of Street Fighter. Like Fatal Fury was dope. Samurai Showdown was always dope. And Fatal Fury was always dope. But let's be honest, King of Fighters is just a fake Street Fighter. I mean, they have excellent character design, and in fact, I think they should just kind of combine the two. You know what I'm saying? Because they do have some excellent character design in in King of Fighters. I think Raiden, the wrestler, is pretty dope. The fat white boy, he's dope as hell. He talks a lot of shit. I like that character a lot. That's another thing. Parry, I would take out of the game entirely. That's all I could really think of. I think the combos that start from a crouching light kick, light punch position or standing jab position into, like, let's say a level 3 should be heavily scaled. I think you should get like 10 times less amount damage if the combo starts from a crouching jab, standing jab, or crouching light kick. I just think the reason for that is the window of opportunity. The difference between a standing jab, crouching light kick, or crouching jab and a grab is like the blink of an eye. What I mean by that is if by the time you blink, you're already blocking or getting hit. It's that fast. So the reason I say that is like, I've caught plenty of my opponents. I've beaten them with crouching light kick, crouching jab, quarter circle forward punch with Kimberly into level 3, and basically have taken half their health bar off of that one combo. That's why I tell on my stream, all aspiring players that want to be high level players, save your level 3. Unless you feel it's absolutely necessary to break out of a situation. Like, for example, if I'm playing Manat and I know I'm getting put in the corner and he's trying to drive impact me, I have to waste my level 1 and go through it. I have to, as a Kimberly player, because I have no invincible move that goes through that. You know what I'm saying? If I'm unable to hop it, is what I'm saying. Like, if I'm exhausted in Street Fighter 6, if I have no meter, I have no drive meter, and he tries to hard punch, drive impact me into the wall, I can't get out of that unless I do a level 1. If I do a level 1 super, this is not for every character. It depends on your character selection and what your super does. I know that my super goes through it. I know that Ken's super goes through it. These are all characters that I play. I can't, 100% guarantee your character selection or anything like that, but that's the point I'm trying to make. If they just do a freeze frame when the move is blocked, or it obviously on hit stun, it does a lot of damage when you get hit with a special move. You know what I'm saying? Like Blanca Ball, I think they should combine EX Blanca Ball with his command grab. I think him having a command grab may be a little too good. I like that he has a command grab. I think it was kind of essential for him to have that. The Rainbow Ball really has to be adjusted with Blanca. The Blanca doll, that has to be removed entirely, or they have to make it better, because it's way too good. In the hands of a player like me, it's just too good. I still think Blanca is one of the most underrated characters in the game. I'm still winning with my Blanca on ranked matches. I've always been a Blanca player. Ever since Hyper Fighting, I've always loved Blanca. Ever since Street Fighter 2, I always loved Blanca. That was always one of my favorite characters in the game. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can really think of, man. I'm trying my best. I just love Street Fighter so much, and I'm a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. As a longtime fan, I feel like Drive Impact, it just ruins the game. If they were to remove Drive Impact from the game and maybe tweak the fireballs so that they have, they're a little bit slower maybe, so that players have to play a more, ground game type thing, I think they could really fix the game. The projectiles are just way too lightning fast, especially in lag. In Mortal Kombat, I still feel like the same way. But the thing is, with Mortal Kombat, you can actually duck a lot of the projectiles and not get hit by them at all, and actually open yourself up to at least get in on your opponent so that they no longer can throw projectiles, or counter them entirely, like I do with Kenshi all the time, just by ducking. You know what I'm saying? So like, you duck, you walk forward, get ready to play defense or get ready to play offense after that. Because by the time you duck one of their projectiles and walk forward, you're already basically within jumping range. If they throw another projectile, you could jump it on reaction and counter them. Or, you know, if you want to stay on the ground, you could just do a combo. You know, you could duck another one, and now you basically, by the time you duck by the time you duck the first projectile, I feel like you're already in pressure range, especially with the character I use. If not, you'll probably have to do it a second time. But I feel like after ducking the first one and walking forward, if they try to throw another one, you could jump over it and counter them easily. That's an easy counter. If not, you can stay on the ground and try to pressure them. But if you see that they're throwing another projectile, obviously you want to jump and counter them, just like you would in Street Fighter. But the problem is, in Street Fighter 6, they changed the jumping a lot, to the point where it feels like you're glued to the ground. And I think a lot of longtime Street Fighter fans are a little confused by this, is because we're just so used to jumping when we feel we have to jump. And like, they took that away from the players, and I feel like that was a big mistake, because now players are just getting cracked into the wall off of drive impact and losing unnecessary damage, taking unnecessary damage. And I think that it really ruined Street Fighter a lot. Ryu has a lot of moves that have to be adjusted to add more recovery times to them, like his sidestep kick, quarter circle forward kick, which used to be half circle forward kick in Third Strike. Back when I was actually destroying people with Ryu in Third Strike, I was like the only Ryu player in Third Strike that actually still believed in the character when everyone switched to Ken, like Daigo Umehara. You know, because he at first he was playing Ryu in Street Fighter 2, but then in Street Fighter 3 and Street Fighter Alpha, but then in Street Fighter 3, all of a sudden he's a Ken player. No, I stay true to Ryu. You know what I'm saying? I stay true to Ryu. You see me playing Ken, but my number one choice is always Ryu. My number one choice has always been Ryu. Ryu was always better than Ken, except for Street Fighter 3. That was the only game Ryu was not better than Ken. You could do the research. You don't have to take my word for it. Do the research. Ryu is always better than Ken, except for Street Fighter 3. You know what I'm saying? I don't like what the changes they did with Akuma. Forward medium punch used to be the overhead. I don't know if it still is. Back hard kick or standing hard kick used to just be a second overhead that he had that hit on the second hit. It's no longer that. Like, these are go-to options that are engraved in my memory, and you change it and ruin everything. Like, that's another thing I would change. Special moves, especially for charge characters, I would make it so that they either have to commit to playing an offensive move like Flash Kick or Sonic Boom, but in doing so, they give up defense entirely. That way, if they do it at an inappropriate time, they're getting countered, because they can't hold block and do a special move at the same time. That's currently what's happening with Guile, E Honda, and a lot of the other charge characters in the game, is that they don't have to be good like everyone else is. And that's a big problem in the game. This is why I still think Guile and E Honda are easily some of the best characters in Street Fighter 6 to this very day. No doubt about it. Even in Street Fighter 5, Guile was a monster. So hopefully Capcom really understands why I'm doing the videos I'm doing. You know, I really do love Street Fighter, but Street Fighter 6 is not it. I'm still winning, fortunately. Not, you know, I'm not going to say it's 100% of them, but like I said, the grappler players I'm losing to, if it was in person, I probably would have a way better chance, especially if Zangief wasn't using his skin color outfit. That's another thing. For ranked matches, I wish Capcom would make it so that Zangief players cannot use his traditional red underwear outfit. Like, he's in his, like, with his skin all exposed, his muscles all exposed. I would love for him to put him in like an all black outfit, or if he's on an all black stage, an all red outfit, or an all white outfit. That way you could really see his attacks, because especially on the all-white screen. It's very difficult to see those skin colors, especially in Mortal Kombat 1, like Baraka on an all-white screen. It's very difficult to see what he's doing. I feel like I'm trying my best, you know, I'm trying my best as a fighting game fan. I think every fighting game fan, if you really are a fan, if you feel like you see something in the game that is just a little too unfair or cheap or should be changed, like it's hard to see or something on the screen, you guys gotta open your mouth. I can't be the only one that's brave enough to question the decision-making process of the developers, like, you know what I'm saying? And, like, it's wrong for them to make $70 million and go, oh, you're talking bad about my game? I'm not going to change shit now. No, that's wrong for you. That's wrong for you to do that, because you should understand that, you know, us fans are the reason why you're making so much money, and us fans are really, like, complimenting your work, but, like, we also understand when the game is not the way it should be, because we're such big fans that, like, when we see you do something that's just too far out of the ordinary, that we're like, whoa, 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 we don't want it to go too far out of the ordinary. We just want it to be a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? And I think the recovery time of special moves, EX special moves and supers in Street Fighter has always been a big problem. And, you know, it's unfortunate that the developers just don't listen to me, because if they did, everyone would love this franchise. And, like, right now it's hard to find people playing, so I'm still winning in Mortal Kombat, thank God, you know what I'm saying? I played an amazing Sub-Zero player yesterday. I was trying to find his gamer tag, but he's quite possibly the best Sub-Zero player I ever played. He's probably Rio. I don't even know if that was him or not, but he's amazing, man. I mean, I got to pick up Sub-Zero as a secondary character just for the fact that Kenshi just has some matchups that, like, I feel like, I don't think that he struggles with any real matchup, but, like, he does have matchups that, like, he just can't do anything, dog. So, and Sub-Zero is one of those matchups that, like, Kenshi cannot do anything in the Sub-Zero matchup at all. Alright, man, I'm gonna end the video there, man. Yeah, Kenshi, please add another string to Kenshi. He needs a little bit more mix. He needs an additional string in his regular tool set. Like, without Senso, he needs an additional combo string there. He really does. Alright, I'm gonna end the video there. Hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Balrog, characters like Balrog and Cammy's cross-up light kick, it should be changed to a regular jumping medium kick light kick. In fact, you should not be able to cross up with a jumping light kick. It's way too difficult to know if it's going to land forward or back. Ryu also still has this to the very day, jumping light kick. They should remove his cross-up capabilities with jumping light kick altogether. Balrog should have a cross-up. You know what I'm saying? Characters like that. There's a lot of characters in the game that just do not have a cross-up. Dalsum is one of them. I feel like they could give Dalsum, like, maybe, I don't know. I guess he makes sense. Alright, I'm gonna end the video there. I could just go on and on. I don't know what the hell they did to Dalsum, man. I feel like in the right hands he's very good, but, like, I only ran into one Dalsum player early on, and I was like, wow. But I still wiped my ass with him with Kimberly, but I was still like, wow, he's the only good one, though. Alright, man, I'm done, though. I'm done. I'm gonna end the video there, man.